Party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. I'm a fast talking sumbitch. It's Wednesday, hump day. Sara Gonzales. What's your shirt say? What's your shirt say? Prosecute Fauci.
Prosecute Fauci, which you can find at realwomensclub.com.
Look at you, girl. I got to take some pictures of you. You're going to model that here in a little while.
All right.
Post it up.
Okay, let's do it.
realwomensclub.com.
I wore it to compliment my loud. Some people might call this outfit loud.
I call it Sara Gonzales.
I was going to say, I just call it another day.
It's just how you are. Look at those boots. Look at those shoes. Are those comfortable to wear?
Actually, they are.
Yeah.
And it's very chilly here in Dallas today, and it's lined with fur, so.
Yeah, they look very warm.
Yeah, they're
very
nice.
Warm.
They're the boots with the fur.
It's very David Bowie. Unlike my Crocs with no socks there.
I legitimately cannot believe that you came into town in Crocs.
I know. I'm going to walk through the mud puddles.
Oh,
Heck
yeah.
I'm just, I go through phases, Sarah. I go through phases of real lazy.
You are in the phase of not giving a shit. I can tell you that.
I am re-listening to, I want to recommend a book to you guys. I want to recommend, it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a And I'm dead serious when I tell you, don't get caught up in the language of it. Mark Manson, he sold over 10 million copies of that book. It's a fantastic book. Have you ever read it?
No.
But you've heard of it. You ever heard of it?
Of course I have.
It's a blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it. I'm listening to the audiobook of it again and devouring it.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes an incredible point in there. He says, you have limited number of days on this planet, which means you have limited number of F's to give.
Yeah.
And once you hit that quota of F's, you have no more F's.
Yeah.
So stop giving them. Stop giving them.
I really like that.
And so he dives into this whole thing about how we worry about the wrong things, right? Sometimes I go through phases where I'm like, I'm just going to reset. Just going to reset. Because if you guys had any idea how my brain works, and I'm not saying I'm some kind of special, unique savant. He's
special.
I'm just saying my brain runs. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning. Mm-hmm. I was up, and when my eyes open up, zing, I'm gone. I'm just, whoom. And there's so many things that I want to say.
Yep.
There's so many things. And again, I can't always say them all. Every now and then you'll see a little glimmer of that, and it pisses people off. And the fact that I still have any restraint, if I ever get to a point where like maybe something happens and like that demented part, the dementia part hits in, and I just start saying whatever's on my brain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just put me down. Don't let that in the world. Don't let that in the world, Brandon. I'm telling you, it would not be good. I look at some of these people out here who have, in big con, isn't that the phrase these days? Big con, who have done so well for themselves by running their mouth. And maybe I guess I did it wrong. Maybe I did it wrong because I try to be a nice guy and I try to get along with everybody. And, there's still a bunch of people out there that think I'm an asshole. I'm really not. But to each their own. If you think I am, again, I don't give a but I'm sitting there thinking maybe I should have just blathered everything out and, recorded some conversations or something and just whatever. I mean, apparently that's the way we do things these days.
There's still time.
I don't know. There's still time.
You can still do this.
There's still time. Call me Jeremy.
I'm just saying, if they want to give $50 million to someone.
I'm just saying.
We're just kidding, Blaze.
Listen.
We're just kidding. We're going to get a phone call for that. I'm kidding.
Listen, I want to tell you guys something. Because people keep sending us messages and wanting to do all this stuff. You want to know what I think about the Steven Crowder thing? I don't have an opinion. I don't know Steven Crowder's business. I've never given a shit about Steven Crowder's business. Steven Crowder's never darkened the door of this studio. I've never darkened the door of Steven Crowder's studio. What you guys don't understand is we at the Blaze are independent people. We're independent people. They give us incredible leeway. Listen, we're under their umbrella. They give us a platform. And for that, I am very thankful. I've never complained about it a single day. I try to honor the fact that they've honored me. It's just that simple. From what I know, Steven Crowder had a product, brought it in, he partnered with the Blaze. That's all I know. That's all I know. And so people keep asking me, what's the Blaze doing? The Blaze isn't doing anything. They've never treated me unfairly. Contracts are contracts. I've seen plenty of contracts out there in my time. Some things I don't like in the contracts. Sometimes you try to negotiate things in the contract. I literally have not paid attention to 1 minute of what was in supposedly that conversation between Stephen and Jeremy Boring. I don't know because I don't care. So I wish the best to Daily Wire. I wish the best to Louder with Crowder and all the people that are a part of that. I do. I have no thing to say about it, Sarah.
I just hate it when mom and dad fight.
Well, but it happens. I hate that it's as public as it is because, again, and here's why I bring it up. And here's why I bring it up because again, we all get lumped into it. Oh, y'all must have some big thing going on. No, we really don't. There's no major cabal going on here. There's no secret society happening. I show up in the morning and they put a microphone in front of my face and Mark and Brandon and Chris, they hit play over there, hit record, and I start talking about things that are on my mind. I don't sit around thinking about what other hosts are going to do. I just don't.
Well, what's frustrating is, you get brought into something and if you say something to defend your position, your organization, whatever the case may be, you must be being paid to say that. Oh, they're telling you to say that. They're forcing you to say that. But then if you don't say anything, then they're also going to assume that everything's bad, right?
Exactly.
So you're in a no-win situation.
They've been censored. They can't say anything about it. It's like, no, okay. We just really don't have anything. So all I'm saying is I'm saying a lot to say we don't have anything to say about it.
Here's what I have to say about it. I'm very proud to be at Blaze. We've got an incredible lineup of shows here. We've got new things that are coming out that you guys should be really excited about because we're we've got Alex's show. We've got a whole bunch of stuff that they've told us about that I'm not sure is ready for public consumption. So I don't want to say too much. Point being, I'm really proud to be a part of the Blaze Network. I'm glad that Stephen had the time here that he did. And, I guess it's time for him to do something else. But I'm really excited for the future of Blaze.
I wish him the best. I mean, anybody out there that thinks that either of these entities are truly being persecuted, y'all are crazy.
I'll be persecuted with $50 million. That's like all the NFL players that talk about how they're slaves. It's like, sign me up for that kind of slavery.
Exactly. I don't have, look, I run a lot of stuff. I run a lot of businesses between live touring and this show and the different businesses that we have. Some of y'all don't even have a clue about. Whatever. I don't have time to worry about that kind of stuff. And what's funny is, people will comment and say, see, the Blaze executives told them to talk about this. This is damage control. What's damaged? There's nothing damaged. People make decisions to leave all the time. Some come, some go. Mm-hmm. Some are bigger than others. Sometimes it makes a headline.
Nothing lasts forever.
And that's why I say I wish the best for everybody. But we don't sit around worrying about what we don't have meetings, up here. There's no think tank sitting up here telling us what we should do or think. That's one of the things I love being part of the Blaze. They've literally never, this show notwithstanding, they've never called me on the carpet and said, hey, don't say that.
I'm sure that every episode of the Chad Prather show, they're just like sweating it out.
It's probably something. There's probably something.
But you never hear about it because...
Well, because at the end of the day, the thing that I try to do is be a team player.
Right.
There's guys in here who they have a job to do. There's executives at this network. They have a job to do. They have a lot of stress. They have a job that I, quite frankly, would never want.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity years ago to do some executive work with another TV network. And I said, absolutely not. That's not who I am. You think I'm going to sit behind a desk, take the phone calls, and put up with everybody's egotistical vanity bullshit all day long? No, absolutely not. So I try to be not that guy. Mm-hmm. Listen, those of you Twitterverse people out there, you've seen enough of the drama over the last several months, even a couple of years, that have happened surrounding Blaze, different things that have happened. It ain't my business. I don't want their job to have to deal with it. So you know what? I don't want to be another guy that adds anything to their plate. So you turn our microphone on, hit record. I might be the little guy with his stapler down in the basement that thinks he's still got a job, but I'm not going to add to their plate. So Anyway, as long as they'll have me, I'll be over here talking. Look,
me too.
Who am I? I ain't got no big show. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you figure all the 850,000 podcasts that are in the world today. Yeah, I guess our show's pretty big. But we we're low man on the totem pole around here.
What I do think is important to not lose sight of is that the only way that we fight back against the culture war and the left is by all having some sort of semblance of sticking together.
Yeah.
Right? If we're all fractured, we're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And the left loves this infighting.
Well, and that in and of itself grieves me. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. I love to look at things and think, well, maybe, we should all just get along. I just know that I'm not smart enough to figure out the nuances of what everybody's talking about because I don't care. I'm not that smart. I don't want to stretch the last few brain cells that are still holding on and the synapses that are firing. I don't want to waste that electricity on trying to figure out who's got a problem with who.
Yeah.
You start playing recorded conversations, which I don't think is a cool move. I don't. And again, I don't know that Steven's ever particularly liked me anyway, but I don't really give a rat's ass about that either. So I'm just saying, not everybody in this business gets along, and not everybody in this business knows each other either. I mean, we might cross paths every now and then, but that don't mean we're, shaking it up at the happy hour either. So, quit asking me about it. Just quit asking me about it. That's enough of that. That's 12 minutes we will never get back.
12 minutes that I was not prepared for.
No, well, I wasn't prepared for it either. It just comes off that way. And do you see if you got the
Oh gosh. You know how Chad was just talking earlier about how he wakes up and it's just full speed? That was just an example of that because you just had 12 different thoughts in about the span of 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, the way my brain just worked right there, I said, well, that was career suicide. So put that picture of that bullet up from Vice right there. Vice ran this article on Monday where there's a shell casing and the bullet all still intact through the basically they said that shot through the wall from a cartel deal.
Fascinating.
And they're showing so now those of you who understand the anatomy of a bullet and what happens whenever you fire one out of a rifled barrel, you'll understand that back part right there, to the left of that you're seeing right there, that stays in the gun and gets ejected out. It's that front pointy projectile part. That's the thing that comes at you real fast and makes a hole. That back part, no. So unless they slung that with a slingshot, that did not get fired out of a rifle. What's that, Brandon?
It's always just so very fun when it's that blatant, Yeah. Like I'm not a gun person because I'll kill somebody, but even I can look at that bullet and be like, I don't think they fired that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, but that's a perfect example of the media, which in that case was Vice, who is trying to push a narrative and trying to show you just how deadly these weapons of mass destruction are. That bullet went through that metal plate like that. Well, it probably could, but not that way.
Not like that.
Not like that. We're not chucking spears out here. So anyway.
My favorite was the what were they? The little ear protectors.
Yeah.
Remember the little orange ear protectors?
Yeah, the little foam earplugs.
Yeah.
Those were bullets. That's what they were
littered
firing.
in the streets.
Yeah, just everywhere. Hey guys, are you tired of feeling like your personal data is at risk? I don't know if you are or not, but you probably should be. And if you're worried about big tech watching every move you make, and they are, if you don't want anybody else knowing where you've been or who you've met or what you're thinking, well, StartMail is a perfect solution for protecting your privacy and giving you peace of mind. StartMail's secure email service keeps your inbox safe from unwanted spying eyes, Protects you from spam. Every message can be encrypted or password protected, and when you delete an email, it's gone forever. You get unlimited disposable email aliases to keep your real identity hidden online. With just a few clicks, you can easily switch from your existing email provider and start taking advantage of StartMail's enhanced privacy protection. Sign up today to save 50% on your first subscription year. There's never been a better time to go to startmail.com/Chad and join the thousands of people who have chosen StartMail for their email security needs. That's StartMail. That's with a T. Startmail.com/Chad. Get 50% off. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. What's up? Mike Pence, apparently he found some classified documents at his house too. They just got this stuff just blowing out their ass at this point.
It's really weird. I don't think it's weird that politicians break rules, but it's really weird that all of a sudden all these politicians are just like deciding to go through every single document that they own to double check and triple check that they don't have anything and then turn it in.
And then they suddenly found out that they've got something. And this is in his home in Indiana.
Yeah.
So here's what I think. I think this is going to be happening more and more. It's going to be prevalent. And who knows? My conspiracy cockles, they raise up thinking, yep, this is how you bring in the one world government. This is how you bring in WEF. This is how you bring it. Because, again, you undermine every politician in the state. By that, I mean the union. And you can't trust any of them. Yeah. So, see, it's all compromised. It's all undermined. And so can't trust any of it. So now you bring in a, UN controlled or some kind of deal like that.
It's just weird.
Now we're a long way from that, but you never know. You never know. I mean, look, we can't pay our debt.
Right.
They're wanting to raise the debt ceiling. I don't think we're going to default on any loans here, but we're broke. Our politicians are compromised, and the only one who had the ability to declassify any documents that were found is Donald Trump.
Something tells me he is not going to let Mike Pence off the hook by saying I declassified them.
Reasonably certain. But still, the thing that I want to say about that is where's the FBI raid? Mm-hmm. Even on Mike Pence. Mm-hmm. They're not going to do it on Mike Pence because he's part of it.
Right.
Swampy.
It's funny
They're
because...
not scared of Mike Pence.
No. I had a conspiracy theory as well, but mine was a lot more simple-minded than yours, which was just that because as you pointed out, Mike Pence is part of it. And he wanted to take some of the, attention away from Joe Biden, who was vice president, by being like, oh, look, I have these documents too. Everybody has them. It's not a big deal. Yeah. We can just move on.
You're probably closer to the truth.
I don't know. Maybe yours was much more like Glenn Beckish.
Mine's elaborate.
Yeah, mine was much more.
Mine was a little more Alex Jones-ish than it was even Glenn. Not even sure Glenn would take it that far-fetched, but that's probably a good chance that's it. Let's see, what Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. They had a phone call with her. Do we have a clip of that? Let's play it.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered. Well, I was shocked. And I wondered how it had happened. Because as far as I was concerned, he was going to... I was sure he was going to appeal. And I was sure that he was covered under the non-prosecution agreement. Yeah. But I wasn't in the indictment. So I wasn't mentioned. I wasn't even one of the co-conspirators.
All right. So now, those of you who obviously aren't keeping up, if you're not keeping up, then that Ghislaine Maxwell, of course, is the late Jeffrey Epstein, who was a child molester, billionaire. That's his girlfriend. She was the one who went out and found.
Yeah, I would say girlfriend women. Is not quite.
Well, she was, but she was much more than that. Of it.
Yeah,
she was the one who basically helped supply the women to these elites. Mm-hmm. Not only Jeffrey Epstein, but to his cronies that we'll never know the names on the list, unfortunately. I want to know them all. And if you go back a couple years now, we did that expose, that 3-part expose here on Epstein. And, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was suicided, threw him off the top of a boat. And if you know her story, she's no stranger to these scenarios in her own life. And so, you hear her say, well, I think he was murdered. He didn't hang himself. She might know a little something from experience based on what the circumstances surrounding Epstein were. So, I don't know. She's got to be in somewhat fear of her own mortality.
Yeah.
Now, I think she's protected, though. I think there's too many names on that list that they just can't let out, And there's players out there that you wouldn't even recognize their names. That's the thing that I don't think we realize. There's major players out there that control world affairs that, we mentioned celebrity names. I don't think those are the ones. It's the ones out there that have the true power. Celebrities can go away. They can get new celebrities. They can raise those up in a heartbeat. Speaking of that, sorta. So Damar Hamlin, you've been paying attention to this controversy?
Yes.
All right. So he makes an appearance at the Buffalo Bills game there in Buffalo on Sunday, but was it him?
That's the controversy.
Because you never see him. He's always in the hoodie. He's supposed to be on oxygen. They did CPR for 9 minutes on the man on the field. You're going to have some broken ribs, and he's, in the thing with his arms above his head in the press box or in the suite up there. He's got all the heavy stuff on, the jackets and the hoodies. That's a heated suite up there. You never really see his face. The ones you did see look like a lighter skin tone than what Damar has. Then there's people who post other pictures that, oh, you're a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Here's a picture of him there at the game. I don't know if it was.
It wasn't from the same.
It wasn't from the same deal.
The one that I saw was not from the same day.
His mother and his brother come through the entrance. They're not with him. Mm-hmm. You never really saw his face.
It's weird, right?
Well, it is weird.
And there's no oxygen tank, as you mentioned, like he would be on oxygen.
And then the guy he's got not only a hoodie on over his head, but he's wearing a mask over his nose and mouth, which is further depleting the flow of oxygen into him.
Yeah.
If I had cardiac arrest 2 weeks ago on the football field and they cracked all my ribs trying to revive me and then had to resuscitate me again once I was in the hospital, I just don't think I'm coming to the football game.
It's just really bizarre.
So what's the deal? Now, this is something we'll know. We will know. See, again, my conspiracy cockles rise up and I go, suddenly his charity made $6 million? Uh-huh. Was that some kind of a hush money for the family to say, look, he ain't with us anymore, but we're going to make everybody believe he is?
It's just fascinating to see it play out. Obviously, it's at a certain point, we're going to have to, we will know, right?
You'll have to know.
Either he's going to return to the team and play, or
you'll at least see him. He'll give an interview or something. Now, again, do I believe all that? No.
But it's fascinating to read about.
That's what we like to do. We like to sit around and discuss these wild ideas. Now, everybody will jump on our backs and say, you guys just want to shut up. Shut up. Y'all are no fun at parties.
I also think that it does bring up an important point, which is this is how little trust the general public has.
None.
Right. With everyone at the top, right? Including the NFL. But I mean, this is how little everyone trusts those who are in power.
Yeah, we have no trust anymore.
No.
When there's gaps, we're going to fill in the blanks.
And that's dangerous.
It's like, oh, here comes the COVIDiots with their conspiracies.
Well,
I mean,
turned out
something
to be true,
talk about.
So
I guarantee you our conversations around the fire are way more interesting than your Riri conversations where you sit over there clutching your pearls.
Well, they can't hear each other because they're wearing the damn masks.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody sent me a message through my website saying, did you say... what was it that you said about the masks? I don't know. Go watch the show again and find. I don't understand why if people are having surgery they wear masks, and you're putting down people that are wearing masks. I can't believe that you would do such a thing. Pay better attention is all I'm going to say. When they cut you open, they do not want droplets of saliva falling
inside
into
your
you.
Open wound.
Yeah, they don't want that falling into you. You breathing air particles or virus particles or viral particles, that's a different story. I promise you, when the doctor, he could still breathe through that mask he's wearing. He could still breathe through it because it covers his nose and his mouth. That means air and therefore particles are still passing through the mask.
Right.
He's not stopping that. He's stopping droplets.
Right.
So that when he speaks, when he says, "Hey, nurse, wipe the sweat off my brow," the spit particles that come out of his mouth, they don't go inside you when he's doing brain surgery and cause an infection. There's a big difference. And no, it's actually been reasonably proven that, listen, yeah, you can put a mask on. You can put a mask on, and it probably will stop a large portion of the crap you're sharing with everybody in the room with you. But here's the deal. It's still not going to stop everything. And that's not how you live life.
Right.
It's just not how you live life. You don't spend your life going, "Oh my God, I got to be protected from everybody around me." You know, if that's true, then why in the world do you go out to a restaurant at all if you're so afraid? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but when you take that fork that's been in tens of thousands of other mouths there at the Cracker Barrel and shove it in your face hole, and it's just been through some hot water and a little soap, or you put that cup up to your mouth and you drink from it, yeah, just stay home.
Yeah.
Just stay home.
Well, maybe it hasn't been through soap. You don't know that.
You don't know that.
You have
know
no
how many
idea.
times I've been to a place and I picked it up and I can see the lipstick still on the glass?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, I used to have somebody say, "I can't believe you're just going to drink straight from the cup." I don't like drinking through straws. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not a kid. I don't like drinking through straws. You know? And so it's like, I can't believe you're going to put that lip. You know, people sitting there with a fork full of salad, and they're like, "I can't believe you're going to put that cup right there to your mouth." Yeah. Okay, stupid. They came out of the same washing machine. All right. Thanks to your support, Patriot Mobile has emerged as one of the leaders of the parallel economy, and they have big news. Patriot Mobile now offers service, get this, with all three major networks. That means if you're with the big three and you like the service but you hate their values, you can access them with Patriot Mobile. They offer a performance guarantee. So if you're not happy with your coverage, you can switch between the three major carriers for free. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer nationwide coverage on the best 4G and 5G networks so you can get the same great service while supporting a company that fights to preserve our God-given rights and freedoms. So this new year, resolve to stop supporting companies that don't align with your values. 100% U.S.-based customer service team there at Patriot Mobile makes it easy to switch. Just go to patriotmobile.com/chat, or you can call them 972. They changed the number. Watch out. 878-PATRIOT. Look at that.
Yeah.
Boy, I was on cruise control right there. 878-PATRIOT. I bet if you call 972-PATRIOT, they still answer.
It threw me off when I read that. I was like, wait, 878. Is that an area?
878.
It is.
Patriot. All right. Well, get free activation today with offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. PatriotMobile.com or call them 878-PATRIOT. New number. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back. We still have a show here. They haven't turned off the lights yet. You know why? It's because we win here. We're full of victories. That's right. And, I'll be honest with you. It's not often that we get to come on here and tell you about the victories that we have on this show over the left. We fight the culture war. We do. But rarely does either side limp off the field of battle having fully won the day. So when I come before you with joy and just excitement on my lips, you can rest assured that I stand just singing upon the slain and defeated carcass of some woke colossus. Now, in this case, the Mars Candy Company. Remember us talking about them? Vigilance sometimes pay off. In short, I appear before your eyes and in the opening of your ear holes to make the bold claim, not only of victory, but of personal responsibility. Now, let me back up for a minute. I'm sure you remember over the past year or so, Mars, that's the candy company, they've been touting the ever-increasing diversity of its M&M's spokes candies, which appear in annoying commercials if you're watching TV or you're the peasant type who doesn't pay for YouTube Premium. And recently, in a move of overtly servicing of its woke constituency that it should get busted in the back of an Asian massage parlor, Mars started pulling moves like creating female-only bags of M&Ms. But just the other day, all of that came to a crashing halt. Mars has walked back its spokes candies to the point of shelving them indefinitely and hiring Maya Rudolph to be their new spokesperson. And they put out a message to all of us as well. Brandon, put up the graphic, please. So just a highlight says, we've made some changes to our beloved spokes candies. Yeah, we're really talking about this. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, and we definitely didn't think it would break the internet, but now we get it. Even a candy shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&M's wanted, since we're all about bringing people together. And then the bit about Maya Rudolph, who's a decent comic actor and will no doubt serve them well. Now, on to the meat of all this. The part I'm interested in is that this happened right after I pointed out how silly it was on this show. So I'm going to assume that this was my doing. That's right. You're welcome, people. You get tired of having woke candies thrown at you every time you turn around and face a television set. Now, if you recall, I said at the time that the marketing people at Mars were taking a calculated risk that the majority of the people who buy their products are virtue-signaling wokesters and not just everyday Americans who don't give a shit about the opinions of some computer-generated candies advertising what, from their perspective, amounts to cannibalism. That's right. The big question on everybody's mind when it comes to this whole controversy should be, why is this even a thing? Why is there even a controversy to begin with? Nobody looks to the Mars Corporation for political, intellectual, or spiritual guidance. We look to them when we need a reasonable pharmacological substitute for sexual gratification. That's right. We like sugar. We look to them when we absolutely positively want to get diabetes but don't want to wait around for it to happen. When we look to them when there's no alcohol or cocaine in which to bury our sorrows on any given day. In short, we look at them as freaking candy, nothing else. So go lick your wounds, Mighty Mars Corporation, and maybe come back at us with some advertisement. Something we all care to hear from you about. Meanwhile, I'm taking the W on this one, mofos. That's right. I got this. We should put this over in Glenn's museum right here. the woke candies. M&M's, that's their upside down. That's the one that they came out with. It's got the tranny candy on it. Supporting women flipping the status quo. I'm going to eat these girls.
So I actually had to just look up because you notice on their statement, they said even sneakers, even shoes can be polarizing, right?
Well, they're racist.
Well, no, that's why I was like, wait, it was the shoes? I thought it was the whole, flipping it upside down and trying to. Well, apparently the green M&M used to have go-go boots and they changed it to white sneakers because they wanted to create a world where everyone feels like they belong. Yeah. Which is a very odd thing to say.
And if you go back, those of you who are like truly supporters of this show, you go back, we actually talked about that, I think early last year, about the boot issue.
I had no idea.
Because they switched that around. I had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but I forgot about it. Because we were talking about how crazy this thing has gone in this so-called culture war or whatever for inclusion and acceptance. They didn't want it to be too feminine. They wanted it to be, this is a shoe that anybody might be wearing.
Which is so weird because the other characters had regular shoes. It was just this one, right?
Right.
So if you want to create a world where it's dumb that I'm even having to argue this, but if you wanted to create a world where everyone felt included, wouldn't you want to include also the boots for more feminine people and the sneakers for more non-feminine people?
Here's the fascinating thing about all of this stuff, and this is candy we're talking about.
That's why I'm like, I feel stupid even making this point, but I just want it to make sense.
But what matters is the mindset behind it.
Right. That's what I want it to make sense.
So if you go out there and you market something that is very strongly feminine from a historical value standpoint, like here's a woman. She's beautiful, she's shapely, voluptuous, whatever. She's she has all of the balance to, the external values that we have normally associated, Bridget Bardot, Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We look at that and we say that is stereotypical beauty. You promote that, and you are public enemy number one these days. Okay? You got to put fat models on a Sports Illustrated swimsuit. Right. You got to put fat models or trans models on Victoria's Secrets, right? The angels can't look like 6'8" Amazon gorgeous things that you would love to climb. You can't do that anymore. It's got to be some kind of transsexual. It's got to be some kind of hermaphroditic entity that nobody can even tell what it is.
But these are candies.
It's candy, but you can't have anything that is overtly feminine unless it's a man being overtly feminine.
Unless it's a man stealing women's sports and scholarships.
Then that's a different story. So if you got Dylan Mulvaney running around, what's his name? Yeah. Running around Washington, D.C. with his prissy ass and a little, like he's the second coming of Mary Tyler Moore. Then, throwing his hat in the air and his dick falls out. And we're supposed to say, oh, he is such a champion for women's rights. Well, he's got a dick and balls. He just went in and got surgery recently to make his face more feminine. In other words, he doesn't want to keep getting the 5 o'clock shadow, but he didn't bother to cut his giblets off.
Right. But I would just like to also add, I am happy for your victory, the Chad Prather Show victory.
I'm here for this.
Take the victory lap. However, I also don't think that the company actually learned anything from it, because they, the problem wasn't that you had these cute little candies on the package, right? Like on the commercials, that was not the problem. Nobody cared that you had cartoon candies doing your commercials. The problem was the agenda behind it. And they still didn't seem to connect those things.
And these are nasty.
I hate M&Ms.
Like purple, I ate the purple one because I like to eat the feminine ones. And that reminded me of an ex. Crusty.
Well,
purple.
We went there.
Well, whatever. I don't think anybody is shocked. No one is surprised that we went there.
No. Remember the fable that the green one was like an aphrodisiac?
Yeah. Well, the red one used to cause cancer back in the day, like in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah. They got rid of the 50s. Way back then, they got rid of the red ones because they discovered that the dye they were using to make the red ones. That's why there's a movie out there where it's like he goes back in time. I'm trying to remember the movie now. And he says, oh, you bought an Edsel. His dad pulls up and he's like, oh, you bought an Edsel. Because that was a lemon of a car, They just didn't know it at the time. And then he goes, and the kid's eating M&Ms. He's like, yeah, don't eat the red ones.
Huh.
Yeah, anyway, hang tight. We'll be right back.
I had no idea.
So many stupid things that we haven't gotten to all week long. Like, did you see the story where Lori Lightfoot, she had a solution for getting mugged in Chicago?
No.
How not to do it? Have you not seen that?
No.
Play that clip, boys.
And your solution is?
I just explained it. We have been in Little Village working with those street vendors, understanding what the nature of the crime is, making sure that we're doing things in concert with them to help them make sure that their money is secure, not use money, if at all possible, using other forms of transactions to take care of themselves.
Wait.
Don't use money.
What?
Her solution to not get mugged in Chicago is don't carry cash. Don't carry cash.
Well, I mean, you can't get robbed without money. She has a fair point.
Well, you can get murdered.
You can, and also they can still take your credit cards.
Yeah.
I mean, it also reminds me of when LA in Beverly Hills was like, hey, don't wear your Rolex in public because they'll probably it'll get you robbed.
Well, that was the thing way back about, wearing diamonds, wearing diamond rings, or they just cut your hand off or whatever. Just cut your finger off, take the whatever.
Does a whole lot like victim shaming.
Listen,
doing a great job.
Our buddy Eric July on your show Monday had the perfect solution to all this stuff. When we were showing the largely peaceful riots, protests that were going on in Atlanta, they're burning the city down. He's like, just let store owners and property owners just take care of their own shit.
Right.
You do that. You go, oh, what do y'all want? The Wild West? Well, the city's burning down. It's pretty Wild West right now.
I would say that would be Wild West.
I mean, we could fix it in a heartbeat. You want to do that in Chicago? Look, you already cleaning up 69 murders a week in Chicago. Just let people defend themselves. Like, let law-abiding people defend themselves.
You know, it's fascinating, too, because so many people on the left seem to have this idea. They always come back with like, well, you think that your property is worth someone else's life? It's like, well, they're the ones who apparently thought that, right? Not
so
me.
I started blasting.
It's like, I mean...
Yeah.
Around, find out. Yeah, I worked for that. It's my livelihood. You better freaking believe it's worth your life if you try to come in and take it from me.
Right. I spent my life, my energy, my days, all my stuff trying to, everything I got, trying to build something and own something, and now I'm going to protect something.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And you budget progressive people on the wherever, y'all are on the spectrum. I mean, you really are, because you really think that we're supposed to believe that you value human life.
Right. That's a great point.
Kamala Harris in her speech on Sunday, or whenever it was, she didn't even bother to mention the right to life. Mm-hmm. So she's just telling us what your values are. You don't care about unborn babies. You don't care about children. I mean, that picture that went around with whatever that circus performer or whatever it was holding the microphone at the kid's mouth like it was his dinger. I don't know where that was from. I don't even want to search it out. I didn't share it on my socials because I'm like, you know what? Enough people are sharing that thing around. The drag people. Y'all don't care about kids. You don't care about their peace of mind. You want to cut their genitals off. All in the name of just making them whole. You don't care about people.
Well,
you
Chad,
don't care about people.
They cared so much about the death of George Floyd that they robbed a bunch of Nike stores and Louis Vuittons.
Yeah, start bashing everything in. And I mean, you riot, you burn things down. It's like, what are we doing here? Y'all say, oh, we have to protect human life. Oh, you don't give a shit about human life.
Nope.
Look at a food pyramid where they came out and said that frosted mini wheats and Lucky Charms is healthier than steak. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't care about human life. You spray Roundup on your wheat and then grind that stuff up and feed it to yourselves and think your body's going to break it down. Bill Gates sends $8 million to Africa to fund abortion for population control. Mm-hmm. I mean, they sat over there in Davos last week talking about how the world's overpopulated, how we got to get this population under control, got to bring it on down. You sat there and stuck a untested jabby jab in everybody's arm and hoped it worked. And people are like, it goes around. I've seen this thing on Twitter where everybody's asking, what made you decide not to get vaccinated? Not fucking stupid. I mean, that's where I was at on that whole deal. I don't drink the shit water, and I don't bring some stuff out of a lab and start shoving it in my arm and through a needle. I mean, how's that? I mean, this is what made you decide to, I don't stick cucumbers in my asshole either. Like, there's just some things you just don't do. I mean, some of you are freaky deaky out there and y'all want to do that kind of thing because that's your kink, but whatever. I'm not going to come in the room and watch you do it. And as soon as you come out of there going, oh, everybody's got to put a cucumber in their ass, I'm going to disregard you as insane. Because that ain't how I roll, man. It's just not. I mean, there's certain things you don't do. Like, you don't jump in a cage with a baboon either and say, hey, strap a rubber on, let's get at it.
I mean, I would say the more logical question would be what made you decide to get the vaccine?
Yeah. I mean, they told you to do it. I mean, you're that simple. They just told you to do it.
Right.
Here, get this medical procedure. Promise you it's safe.
Yeah.
And we hadn't tested it. I mean, they called it Operation Warp Speed. Like you seen that movie The Fly with Jeff Goldblum where he gets in and he goes from one pod to the next pod? That's warp speed. Whoop! He just suddenly, and guess what? There was a fly in the fucking chamber with him. And guess what? When they reconstructed him, part of the DNA of the fly was now him, and he became this thing that puked on people and ate their brains. So forgive me if I don't trust modern science where they want to alter my DNA at warp speed. So yeah, where's them damn M&Ms? I swear to God.
Don't eat the red ones.
Don't eat the red ones. It causes cancer. I mean, again, the red ones cause cancer.
Yeah, I said when we went to break, I was like, the
These
funny
really
thing
do
is,
taste like shit, Sarah. What?
the
You
funny
said-
thing is they probably just like rebranded the same red dye that they were using and called it a different red, red number 6, and they're still giving it to us in all of our food.
Listen, I now know why they had to do such a huge deal to try to promote these candies with
They suck.
wokeism.
They
Because the
suck.
candy tastes like shit. It's garbage. Have y'all had M&Ms lately?
They're not good.
I don't think I've had M&Ms in years.
Because the peanut flavor detracts from that nasty chocolate. That is toxic chocolate.
Toxic chocolate.
Yeah.
That's a band right there. That's an R&B band. We toxic chocolate. Soul Gravy.
The new Boyz II Men. Toxic chocolate.
Woo! I got some things I got to tell you, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Gotta hurry up and get out of here. I gotta go cleanse my palate with the poison that is Diet Coke.
Have you learned nothing, Chad?
They do not care about human life, is my point. So Lori Lightfoot, listen, just let people defend themselves. If y'all want to depopulate the earth, just let us fight it out. Keep the governments out of it.
Yeah.
Let us just take care of our shit. We'll settle it.
I am going to place a bet, a very large bet on the side with the guns.
We used to do it.
Yeah.
We used to slap each other in the face with a glove and be like, come on, we'll see you at dawn. Let's have at it. Rat-tat-tat. Anyway. All right, Sarah. AmericanBeautyBySarah.com. It's where you can get your make-em-ups, and you need it. They will not leave the little lipstick thing on the glass. You won't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Y'all got good stuff.
Our liquid matte is.
You're going to make
really
like
good at that.
millions of dollars off of that product. Because
I
parallel
hope so.
economy. I'm telling you, people got to support that.
That's what we're working on. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
It really is. It's something I believe in. It's something that's really
You've got
important.
the right values and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm embarking on a brand new adventure. We're going to be in Joplin, Missouri, and Friday night at the Roxy Entertainment Center. And the four of us, me, Dustin Sims, Zach Rushing, Jesse Payton, Buckwild Comedy Tour. It's not for everybody. I'm telling you, it is not for everybody. If you are a thin-skinned Riri, don't come to this show.
If you were offended by the amount of times that Chad said in this episode, don't go.
Whole lot of bleeps. Love you, mama. And then just me, I'm going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I hope the weather cooperates because we're coming in there, baby. My agent doesn't own an almanac or a globe. So, yeah, they don't realize the weather changes. But we're going to be at Fort Wayne, Indiana, and then a bunch of stuff. Just go to ChadPratherLive.com. And don't forget, you can use promo code CHAD20 over at ChadOnBlaze.com. Buy some T-shirts and the mugs and all that good stuff. And then subscribe to BlazeTV.com/Chad. Use promo code CHAD. And save $10 off an annual subscription to Blaze TV. Yeah. And
Kind of just channeled Mark Levin there.
Huh?
You kind of just channeled Mark Levin.
Mark Levin, Mr. Producer. Listen, Mr. Producer. He's never darkened my door either, to be fair.
I've never seen him in this building.
Hey, I've never darkened his door. So, Stephen ain't the only one. We're all doing our own thing. And that's okay. I love you. God bless you. Bye.